Well, hi YouTube. I promised you a video today, didn't I? And as with everything, best laid plans and all that. So, listen to my little story about why the video has changed from what it was going to be to what it now is going to be. So, first and foremost, people, some of you may or may not notice from the Facebook page, etc. Last week, ran out of hours at the end of the week, didn't get back in Friday night. It's a rare occurrence. It was just, that was the way the week went. That was the work that was on, that's what needed to be done. So, it kind of made me think about the kind of personality and what have you that you would be ideal to have. Everyone's different, obviously, but if you've got the kind of trait of an optimist, or you can quite easily kind of forgive and forget and just move on, water off a duck's back jobby, then probably you're going to fare quite well. This game is ever changing, from the point of view of something can be late, so you might not get to pick it up. Something could be early, you know, that it could be that the wrong load's been picked up. There's a million and one different things that can go wrong. So you've got to kind of be aware and not foresee it, because let's face it, we can't all see into the future, but just be acceptant of it when it happens, because otherwise it would drive you potty. So, how my weekend's gone so far. Ended up rolling in on Saturday morning, finished my shift 11 AM Saturday, and just to make things easy on hours and things, 45-hour break over the weekend. Not an issue, meant that I could start at 8 AM today, absolutely fine. Rang up to the office yesterday, explained my situation, got my jobs through, they agreed everything, all fine, not an issue. Then one little domino fell down somewhere in the chain, okay? That just happened to be an issue with sickness, all right? We're in a pandemic, it's gonna happen. Even without being in a pandemic, sickness can happen for anyone, any day. And as a result of said sickness, my job had to change. So, all right, fair enough, not an issue. But obviously the law still stands. The law said I needed a 45-hour break, that I was well and truly right the way through. So I explained I couldn't start any earlier than 8 o'clock, but if they had anything that I could help with to kind of rectify the domino effect and do my bit, as it were, by all means, chuck it at me. I'll see what I can do. Great, no worries. So, job changed. It's just a different destination, all right? I'm a tramper anyway. I'm going to spend my week on the road, so the destination doesn't really affect me. What load I'm taking doesn't affect me. My job is to drive the coach. Well, so, as a result, I'm thinking, right, fine and dandy, I can still do my video as I planned. Today's video was supposed to be, because it's the first day of the week, first day of the month, first video and all that, I was going to give you a little insight into what I bring as a tramper. So everything from food to clothes to kit, and that's a whole video in itself. Obviously showing you around the truck as well, cupboards and etc. What's in where I store stuff, etc, etc. Absolutely fine. That was the plan. However, and this is something that is going to happen, right? You're not always going to have 100% focus on the job, all right? There's going to be things that are going to let you down. Your job really is to absolutely minimise that as much as you can, because that helps you keep organised and keep track of everything, helps your planners keep you organised and keep you on track and keep you with jobs rolling in through the week. And you've got to communicate. So as soon as you've got issues, communicate them. Yeah, if you've got a problem, communicate them. Get your instruction off someone else. All right. If I, as a driver, would have gone, yeah, all right, yeah, no worries, I'll accept that job because I want to keep people happy, and then rolled up at 8 a.m. this morning like I was supposed to do, I'd have ended up being late. The job would have ended up going to pot, and that reflects badly on you. And what you might not realise on the back and behind everything reflects badly on your company, because your company's made an agreement to take a certain product from A to B for a certain price, and it's your job to kind of do that. If you don't do it, it reflects badly on your company. Of course it does. You're in a liveried truck, you've got your uniform on, etc. You've got to be on the ball. So yeah, do be prepared to kind of communicate. Get used to saying it is what it is, because it is what it is. You can't necessarily change it. If something's happened, it's in the past now anyway. So be honest about it. Let your gaffer know, speak to your office and what have you, and get your instruction off someone else. Make sure someone knows what the plan is apart from you, because you're sat in your truck, no one necessarily communicating with you 24/7. You've got to tell them what's going on. So yeah, that's what I did, and it ruined everything, because I walked into work this morning and I actually realised yesterday when I was getting everything ready for today that I had left my card in my truck. Now, when I say card, for those of you who aren't drivers, it's my digital tachograph card. It is the be-all and end-all. It is what records what I do. So it records everything from speed to hours to what mode of work you're in. So whether you're actually driving, whether you're on what's called other work, which is everything else, whether you're on a period of availability, which basically you could dispose of the time a little like a break. It's not actually a break. It means you're available to work. And then obviously there is your breaks. So I thought, all right, not an issue. I've got a little bit of experience doing this job now. And every night, even though I'm a tramper, I take my card out of the machine. I do that for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it makes sure I get to tell the machine what mode of work I was in. So it makes sure that once I finish for the day, I've told my tachograph I've finished for the day. And I can tell it after the event I was resting. So it keeps me fine for all my hours, etc. Some trampers will keep the card in 24/7. And just are absolutely religious as to changing the mode on the tacho, so they're always recording the exact mode that they're in. And I made what I'd say was a rookie mistake. You got to hold your hands up to these things. I didn't take my card out, which would have been fine if I'd have put it on the right mode, but I didn't do that either. I know, yeah, stupid me. Now, I ain't the first to do it. I won't be the last to do it, and everyone in this game knows it, which is why you have the opportunity to cover your back with it. All right? If I get stopped today or for 28 days from today, possibly 28 days from Saturday, I'll double check that for you. Or if any drivers are watching, please put your 2 penny in, let me know. But I'm under the impression that today was the infringement, so 28 days from today. I keep at least a 2-month record in the truck anyway. That's more to make sure I've got more evidence than I need, rather than getting caught out with having not enough evidence, because you'll get in trouble. The law is there for a reason. You're not supposed to break it. If you break it, you will get in trouble. But that being said, the industry know that these mistakes happen. What they're looking for is 2 things. All right. 1, did you realise you'd made the mistake? The only way you can prove that you realise you made the mistake is by doing a printout, writing on the back of it what your infringement was, explaining as much detail as you possibly can. That being said, you don't get an awful lot of space, so you do have to be kind of concise and brief with it. But if you're worried about the level of information on there, just make a separate note, all right? Because if in 26 days' time, when this is long forgotten and I'll have slept a lot since then, I won't remember the ins and outs of it. So if Vosa then stopped me and said, what happened this day, I need to be able to explain to them there and then on the spot what happened. why it happened and what I did about it. If they've got all of that, it'd probably be quite a strict member of the team that would properly chastise you, and it would probably be that you've done something else somewhere. If in doubt, if in any doubt, ring someone, ask, speak to your planning office, speak to your boss, speak to, sorry, my fault. Speak to your boss, speak to another driver in the game. Make sure you have got someone that you are confident knows what they're talking about and can give you the right advice, because it's your license. Yeah, it's not the company's, it's not the other drivers, it's yours, and it's up to you to run it. So my advice, always speak to someone that is in control, that can give you a heads up as to what you need to do, and then follow it. Okay, it's pointless getting the advice and not following it. That should keep you 100% legal. All right, I am legal. I did have enough brake. It's just my card thinks I wasn't on brake. My card thinks that I was on other work. So it thinks I've done like a 50 odd hour shift. It's not good, obviously. You know, it's just a confusion to the record. You've got to be able to explain that confusion. That's basically the interpretation of it. But that actually helped, all right? Yes, it was a mess up, yeah? Yes, with the issues that we've had this weekend, it has meant that it was another thing to add to the problem, all right? Instead of getting on YouTube and having a good old whinge about it, which, let's face it, I could have done. You know, I could have quite easily stressed out to the max about it this morning, because you don't want to be looking like you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to be putting your card into the wrong place. You know, I pride myself on getting it right. And when you get it wrong, you know, you do feel a bit, oh, what an idiot I was. And that's exactly it. It was my fault. I was an idiot. All right. So told my boss about it, done the relevant printouts, put the relevant information on. I've covered my back. But it gave me, I don't know, a bit of a push, if you like, to do this video, because it just goes to show how flexible you need to be in this game and how adaptive you need to be, because stuff will get thrown at you on a daily basis that you weren't expecting. You know, even from the point of view of you plan your journey, you're going from A to B and you think it's going to take you 3.5 hours. And unfortunately there's an accident in front of you that takes 45 minutes to clear up. You've delayed yourself by 45 minutes. You know, try and plan a little bit of extra time in for it, for the unforeseen, as it were. But yeah, I did think it was a little bit of kind of divine intervention, as it were. Obviously, I was planning on doing these videos in kind of an order, kind of, right, okay, I'll start with this is the basics, this is how my week starts. It'd have been a perfect way of doing it. But then just poetic beautifulness of, no, we're going to throw all this at you, and it's a perfect opportunity to kind of illustrate the flexibility you need. You will get last minute job changes. I mean, I've been driving down the road with an expectation that I've tipped somewhere and I'm off to collect somewhere, and I'll get a phone call saying, no, that's not happening now, we need you in X place. All right, it is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's your job. You're paid to drive. Does it matter where you're driving to? Does it matter where you're going to end up that night? I don't see the point in letting that get to you. Just like I don't see the point in letting traffic issues get to you. Don't see the point in letting other road users get to you. It's just putting negative spins on your day, and you don't want it. That'll get you down a hell of a lot more. Now, fair enough. You can't always split your work-life balance completely. That being said, my weekend was amazing. Loved it. 2 days with the family. Yeah, I got in a bit late and everything, but we more than made up for it. We had an absolute ace weekend. And it was just, I don't know. We always have good weekends, you know what I mean? I love spending time with the family. I love coming home at the end of the week to spend time with the family. So I don't know what made this weekend a bit different. I think with the social distancing kind of No, that's wrong to say. Social distancing isn't changing. The lockdown's changing, and it means that we can now spend time with more people. So you can have a maximum of 6 people, say in a garden, what have you, as long as you stick to your 2-metre rulings. And it was great. We got to spend some time with some family that we've not seen for, well, since before the lockdown started. And the little one's birthday's coming up, so it was just really nice to get together with the family. Anyway, digressing for a minute there, wasn't I? I do apologise. So yeah, to kind of go from that to then into your working week, if you let everything that happened to you first thing on a Monday morning get to you, you're going to be in a bad mood from the start of the week. Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, it'll not upset me, but annoyed me more than anything else. But you know what? Is what it is. Sorry, D.D.V. I'm not going to cry over it. Spill milk, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's absolutely stupid to cry over it. You do... If you were to speak to my missus, or friends, family members, I personally don't think that they would maybe describe me as an optimist, alright? Having mental health issues, I'm sure many of you will agree, you do kind of automatically feel negative, you feel like a pessimist. And I would say, yeah, I'm probably more a pessimist than I am an optimist. That being said, I live in this job by the mantra, it is what it is. Because you've got to have a mechanism for taking the rough with the smooth. The job is never going to be to the best of the planner's ability, to the best of your ability, to the best of your boss's ability, to the best of absolutely everything. You can have every single card fall in place for you from the start of the week right the way through to 5 minutes before you're due to finish. And something, that it can be the tiniest thing, will happen and plans will change. If you get annoyed by plans changing, it'll be a dismal job. It really would. You've got to be flexible in this game, even from the point of view of you might take something to a supplier and they might say, yeah, it's addressed to us and everything, but it's actually not this warehouse, it's actually such and such place a couple of miles down the road. All right, fine. You know, you do have to be a bit flexible, and they'll probably think a lot better of your company if you can accommodate them. But at the same time, we're paid to do a job. So if that happens to me, I'll ring back to the office and say, right, they want to take it, they don't want it delivering here, they want it delivering such and such place. Are you okay with that? Because I know that there's an implied cost. You know, if they say they want it, I mean, it never happens, but let's say, for instance, they say they want it 100 extra miles, that's going to cost more. Of course it is. Just like getting a flight from here to Ireland is cheaper than getting a flight from here to America. It would automatically cost more. So check with your boss that you're all right to do it. You know, check that you're not costing the company money. Best way to avoid issues like this, don't do what I did. Yeah, don't get those I'm going home blinkers on. That's what I got. I'll be the first to admit it. I got to Saturday, I'd had an extra night out because I couldn't roll in on Friday. All you're doing is dying to get home. As soon as my truck was parked, it was in a bit of a dodgy area to park it at base. So I wanted to double check that I was all right leaving it where I was. I jumped out of the truck, I went and checked. Got the okay that I was all right leaving it, jumped back in the truck, took my kit out and completely forgot to look up at my tacho. So I never took my card. And I left it in the state that it was left on. That was it. And it's a stupid error. You know, it wouldn't have been bad if I'd have put it on brake. It wouldn't have been bad if I took it out. But because I made that stupid error, because I was too eager to get home, you know, I just didn't think for that 1 minute, and that 1 minute will bite you. All right? If you didn't think for a minute on the motorway, you won't be here very long. It's as simple as that. You've got to keep your wits about you. So, in a nutshell, because I do realise I'm waffling a bit and I didn't want the video really to go on for this long. In a nutshell, I implore you, as it were, to take the rough with the smooth. Get in that habit of it is what it is. Any issues you've got, report them. Yeah, if you're not too sure, ask. someone will tell you what you need to do. All right? And if it was me this morning and I didn't know what to do, the last thing I'd have done is jump straight in the truck and just driven away. I would have stayed at site regardless of whether I was potentially going to make the load late or anything like that. I would have stayed at site until I knew 100% what I needed to do. And that's my advice. You know, make sure you know what you need to do. Do it. It's your license. It's your back. Cover it. All right. You don't need your license taken off you. You don't need fines. You don't need extra hassle. I've got extra hassle now because I've got an infringement. I've done something wrong. I need to prove that I've done something about it and that it was a genuine mistake. So that gives me paperwork to do now to take to my office. Is what it is. What I can do about it. Needs to be done. So yeah, stay flexible, people. If you have a whoopsie, it's a whoopsie. Speak to people that know. Find out what you need to do. Get it sorted. And yeah. Oh, it very quickly, it also punishes you as well. Because my tacho thinks I've not had a break this week, all it wants to tell me is you need to be stopped and you need to be on break. Fine, it's doing the right thing. But it also means it doesn't show you what hours you've used driving. It doesn't show you when your next break's due. It doesn't show you all the general information you'd usually get. As a result, you've got to use your noggin. I've actually got to sit and write down the moment I start my wheels turning and the moment I stop my wheels turning, because it's that kind of, I can't go over. I got 4.5 hours in one stint. If I go 4 hours 31, I've gone over. I've got another infringement, another load of paperwork to do. And whilst the infringement program is there to allow you to show why a mistake was made, no one in the land, not your boss, not your company, not the rules of the road, the transport secretary would go mental if you were constantly making the mistakes. It shows that you don't know your job. Yes, it is there to protect you if you do make a mistake, but do not think you can rely on it, because it's not something you can rely on. Most companies have a point system, so every infringement would give you a set amount of points, and once you reach a certain amount of points, you'll certainly be being had a chat to, and if your company's good, you know, they should chat to you. They should put a training plan in place for you. Make sure you've got the knowledge that you don't have, so that you don't make the mistakes again. And then obviously, if you do it again, you've just basically not listened. So you're probably going to get some form of disciplinary or worse. All right. That's not to mention you may have incurred fines off the powers that be. That's a completely separate issue. So yeah, to keep life easy on yourself and reduce the hassle, you have got to be organised with it, and you've not got to make stupid mistakes like I did. Yeah, I hope it's been informative, people. I'm sorry it went on a bit longer than I said it would. The next video I'm going to do is going to be based on I don't know yet. So by all means, please, it will be tomorrow. I'll definitely do something tomorrow. If you've got any ideas, drop a comment, and I'll take it on board. Please give it a subscribe, a like, thumbs up, little notification bell, all the gumph, you know it, people. I don't want to sound like a broken record, keep asking. And I promise you that the first day of the week video will come. I'll do it on the first day of next week, just to show you what I bring with me on the first day. So yeah, enjoy the weather, stay safe, stay apart, look after yourselves, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out, people. Enjoy yourself. See you soon. Bye.